Welcome to our lesson on drawing simple straight lines. We're going to use the package Desmos, one of my favorite packages, to draw some lines. So let's start off with x equals 2. Now here you can see that we have drawn a straight line. I'm just going to get onto that line, and if you notice, every point on that line has an x value of x is equal to 2. So whilst the y value is changing in that coordinate pair, the x value always remains at 2, which is why it is called x is equal to 2. Now over here we have the slider, and the slider allows us to change the value that we want x to equal. So for example, over here we now have x is equal to 4. And again, if we click onto the line, we see that x is always equal to 4 whilst the y value changes. And we can have negative values as well. So x is equal to -1 there, -2, and so on. And let's just have a look at a really important line, and that is x is equal to 0. If you notice, x is equal to 0 is on the y-axis, and every coordinate pair on the line x is equal to 0 is on the y-axis. That is, the x value is always 0 and the y value always changes. Okay, let us now draw y equals 3. So again, we have a line y is equal to 3, and if you notice, every y coordinate in the pair of coordinates, whilst the x value is always changing, as we move along the x-axis, the y value remains at 3, and that's why it's called y is equal to 3. And we can use negative values as well, and that's a horizontal straight line. We could change that value. Y is equal to 4, y is equal to 5, and so on. And let's just put a negative value in there. Y is equal to -2, y is equal to -3.8, and so on. And again, let's look at a really important line. Nearly got there. Y is equal to 0. There you go, y is equal to 0. And if you notice, every point on that line has a y value of 0. Whilst the x value is changing, the y value stays the same, and that's why it's called y is equal to 0. And we've got the important point of 0, 0, which is where the two axes cross. Now, a more exciting line is the line y is equal to x. Now this literally says that the y value is the same as the x value. So let's see if that's true. Let's click onto the line, and if you notice, as I go along the line, the x and the y value is the same. So when we get to 3, 3, there it is. 4, 4, so the x value and the y value are the same, which is why it's called y is equal to x. And we go through 0, 0, the origin, and we can choose negative numbers, -1, -2, 2, etc. Okay, now let's make a similar line, except for this time it's going to be y is equal to 2x. Now if you notice, so the red line, if you notice, it is a straight line. It goes through 0, 0, just like the other one does, but it's just a little bit steeper. And what's the relationship between the x and y value? Well, if we just click on there, we see that when the x value is 1, the y value is 2. And let's go to this one here. When the x value is 3, the y value is 6. And that's because the relationship between x and y, in order to find the y value, you double the x value. Now let's see if that's true. Let's go to this point here. When x is 5, to find the y value, we double 5, and what do we get? We get 10. Seems to work. Okay, I'm just going to change that value of 2 into the letter M. And then what Desmos allows you to do is to change that value of M. So at the moment, the value of M is 1. But as we change the value of M, we get a different line. Notice, so that was the line y is equal to 2x. So the M is 2, y is equal to 2x. So every point on that line has the relationship that the y value is twice the x value. Let's go to 3, y is equal to 3. Ooh, let's just put that back there, nearly. And let's find a point on the line. Yeah, look at that, that's 3, 9. So when x is 3, the y value is 9, which is 3 times bigger. Let's choose another value. When x is 2, y is equal to 6. It's 3 times bigger. Also works with negative numbers as well. So when x is -1, y is -3. Okay, let's change those values. Let's go to 4 if we can. Nearly 4 there. And that's again a little bit steeper. And the relationship between x and y is that the y value is 3.8 times bigger than the x value. Right, going to try a negative number and see what happens. Let's go, it's changed the direction. So in fact now that is the line y is equal to -x. Well, let's see if that's true. Let's pick a value. So when x is -2, the y value is 2. It's the negative of -2. Let's choose a value, let's say here, when x is 3, y is -3. It is the negative of the x value. It's quite an important line, so I'm actually going to redraw that. So y equals -x, and that's that line there. And notice the relationship between y is equal to x and y is equal to -x. They cross each other, and they cross each other in a special way. They cross each other at 90 degrees to each other. They are said to be perpendicular, but we'll learn about that later in our studies. So I encourage you, after you've watched this video, to have a little play around on Desmos. When you're doing the questions, do use Desmos. It will really help, and it will give you an idea of the relationship between x and y, the coordinates, that coordinate pair, when we're looking at these lines.